Okay, we're live on Facebook.
All right.
Fabulous.
And
Hola.
we're live on Instagram.
Right.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to fabulous California, Southern California. In fact, today we have yet another podcast from the Ballet Folklorico de Los Angeles. And tonight we have a couple of special guests with us. We're going to share with us, and we're really, really, really happy to have them with us. On my left, that would be your right, we have Jonathan Trejo. Originally from Chihuahua, California, studied
California.
in California, didn't I say? Chihuahua
And California.
And California
Yeah,
now.
that's right. Ciudad Juarez, Chihuahua. All right, no more of this for me. Okay, give me some coffee. And to his left, we have Oscar Burciaga, originally from Texas, but another individual who has studied at the University of Colima with the Ballet Folklorico, and for the past, 16, 17 years has been in San Diego, California, working with the California Ballet, where he's established himself as an incredible artist. And also for many years now has been getting into production. So not just a dancer, but has learned so much more about putting on a full production.
Yes.
Incredibly talented, not just dance, but in the other things that go into dance. And of course we
I'm
have
excited.
our wonderful director and our fearless leader, Kareli Montoya, and her fearless assistant, we have Mr. Chilo Hurtado. I'm Larry Estrada, and we're here tonight to share with you once again. We haven't been here for a while, so we're a little bit rusty, but we're going to get into it now. Thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
And now our fearless
Saturday
leader.
Cheers. Happy
Cheers.
Saturday.
Happy
Saturday.
Oh, by the way, we're having coffee that we have from Colima. It's fabulous.
Yeah.
Café de Colima, salud.
That's right.
Salud.
Volcano
Saludos a
coffee.
Colima.
Manzanas de Colima.
Yeah, it's a little bit late for me to have coffee because I don't want to be up all night. But anyway, let's begin. So,
Yes.
again, we have two incredible artists working with us, and actually the individual behind the camera tonight, Mr. Eddie.
Yeah.
Also,
Saludos, Eddie.
another
Colima.
former dancer with
Turn
University of Colima, but he's running the cameras for us tonight, so you may not. Okay, I think that you can see him on Instagram, but he's helping out, so that we'll have a minimum of technical issues tonight. Hopefully everything will work out, but it's working so far. Oh, and we actually have someone.
We have
at
a
the door.
guest.
Who
Who is our first guest this evening?
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
So,
Who could it be?
Mr. Burciaga?
Who could it be, boys and girls? Can you introduce our guest?
It's a
Yeah.
student.
Now we have
We have
the
a
wonderful, one of our newer
wonderful
dancers
day
who's
in
come to the company, Miss
neighborhood.
Leslie.
Torres, who's come to join us.
Good evening, Leslie.
I think she may stay on that side of the camera for now, but anyway, she's joining us now. But let's get started.
Yeah, let's get started.
We
So-
have a lot going on, as some of you know, we have our December 8th show at the Sorolla Theater there in Northridge. Formerly known as the Valley Performing Arts Center there right there on the edge of the campus of Cal State Northridge. An incredible theater, let me tell you, incredible. Acoustically, visually, just a wonderful theater, and we're going to be back doing a Christmas show, and now it's run by the Soroyan Company. And so we're really excited about it. But as we prepare for that show, again, we have these two incredible artists with us who are assisting us with it. So Kareli, let's get started on what we have to look forward to in December.
Well, we are very excited because for the first time we are co-producing with the theater a mariachi Christmas concert with beautiful music, of course, and we've brought in Maestro Burciaga as a guest choreographer. So for us, it's really exciting. This show will be on December 8th, and we have a special singer, Angela Aguilar, which is Pepe Aguilar's daughter, as a guest singer. So not only will you get great music, great choreography, but overall it's a premiere show. So we're very excited.
And we're sold out.
Yay!
Yes.
By the way, they've already-
Felicidades.
In fact, the Soroyan is adding a matinee on Sunday, December 9th, because the Saturday night show has sold out. So we're pretty excited about that. I mean, the fact that we're doing the show with this company, which has been fabulous, but our first show, December 8th, is sold out now. They're doing the second matinee now on December 9th. So if you didn't get your tickets for December 8th, you can still get them for December 9th. But don't wait, because the first one sold out, barely 2 months ahead of the show. So that matinee may well sold out. So get your tickets.
So I'd like to talk about what we're working on at this moment because it's been very spontaneous.
Yes, it has been very spontaneous.
The music is, a lot of the arrangements are being done by Jimmy Cuella. director of Mariachi Garibaldi, musical genius. He's really he's obsessed with what he does, and he does it well. So we want to talk about some of the pieces that you're going to choreograph for us, and how you feel about it, and where it's coming from. Yeah.
Well, I do want to thank you all for inviting me to be part of this production. I greatly appreciate it, and it was, like you said, something that just came up all of a sudden. What I am being, allowed to choreograph will be their Disney suite, which is comprised of, we have Beauty and the Beast, we have Sleeping Beauty, we have 2 songs from the movie Coco, a little bit of It's a Small World, and on into a grand finale with the Jarabe Tapatío. Again, we also have we're going to have a special treat for the audience that evening as well, is a never before seen, a lot of these will be premieres for the company, world premieres, don't forget that. Waltz of the Flowers for Ballet Folklorico de Los Angeles. So the opportunity to be able to choreograph these pieces for the company, for your dancers, is absolutely amazing. And we're trying to do something that has never been done before. Fuse our knowledge within the folklorico world along with other genres such as ballet, maybe a little bit of contemporary, and being able to infuse the folklore within these classical pieces, which for the most part has never been seen before or done. Folklorico within the Waltz of the Flowers. You hear Waltz of the Flowers, you think of Nutcracker. Mm-hmm. Beauty and the Beast, you hear that music, you think of the movie. But if you were to listen to the arrangement that Jimmy Cuellar has made with Mariachi Garibaldi for Beauty and the Beast, is absolutely amazing. So hopefully you all will get out and get your tickets for this beautiful event that will again be going on December 8th and December 9th. Yeah.
Yes.
Probably many people is saying like, hey, but I've seen before some folkloric dances with ballet, fusion with ballet or with contemporary. What it makes this different?
Why is this different? That's a very good question. Thank you. I am glad you asked that. There has to be an explanation. Why is it different? Our school. I believe that our school, our background, has a lot to do with our ability and our ability to actually create. We were given a lot of tools back at our second home in Colima, where they have traveled, where Larry has traveled, from our mentor, Samarripa. And along the way, we have encountered other maestros who have enriched our lives. And as Larry was talking about, I also was fortunate enough to have, and still do, have a background in classical ballet with a professional company. So to be able to fuse these and to be it done properly, correctly, because there is still a respect towards the folklore, the traditions, the culture, and the work that we have done, especially on the other side of the border. It's huge, it's important. And not only that, what can be done in the ballet aspect. Folklore dancers do not take ballet. They don't do that every day as a classical ballet dancer would. But there are movements that can be modified so that it looks and takes on the feeling of a graceful ballerina while they are in a folklore skirt and folklorico shoes. And that's where we're trying to get at. Again, it's never been done, but we have to be really careful because it does. It has to be done properly. And we, at the same time, are still trying to preserve traditions as well as evolve in the folklorico world.
And I will add this special thing that you're getting brave to jump in this ballet suite. I mean the walls of the flowers. Because usually what other choreographers or directors have made is like, well, they put the music and the Mexican folk music and they put some ballet movements onto it. Not otherwise. Like, no, they're not taking a classical piece and try to fuse the folk ballet and they try to do this mix. So I think that's another point to add for this work that you're making. Like you're taking the folklorico world into the classical, not otherwise.
Not the other opposite.
Yes.
I think that's
It's different.
Yeah, I think that's another really point.
Thank you for expanding. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, and for seeing that. Because yes, we have seen it the other way around. There is no disrespect, and el Ballet Folklorico de Mexico was my first love, but you're talking exactly about that. You're stripping away that tradition and stylizing it to where, but it was the thing that we grew up with. What I am trying to do, and exactly as my compañero, mi hermano, pointed out, I need to put my background, our background, into this, especially because it's going to be played by a mariachi. Y otra cosa, estamos trabajando con un grupo folclórico. Se van a verse bellos bailando bien un vals como se debe de ser y zapateando bien como se debe ser. ¿Cuándo se ha zapateado a un vals de las flores? O Bella y la Bestia. Lo estamos haciendo. Tengan esa curiosidad de ir al teatro a ver el trabajo que estamos haciendo. Se los ruego. Les va a encantar.
Sí. No,
Easy.
Sí.
No. And it's hard work.
It's a lot of work.
5
How
hours.
many hours now?
7.
Okay.
By the end of the year, 900 hours of
Well,
studio.
I have to point this. He's coming each weekend to work with us from San Diego. So that's an extra effort for him. And also, it's an extra work for us.
Yes.
Because we're not used to work on Saturdays. And we're working extra hours
Yes.
for rehearsal and to make this the right way. Like he's saying, not just posing.
Yeah.
We're getting into the.
There is work, and there's a lot of work to be done in stripping down of what we know and how we're dancing to make it fit this music. It has to be done properly, but it takes time to be able to set something. I can't just walk in there and choreograph. We've gone over steps.
Right.
Over and over and over, and trying to get them to do different things and see how it looks and see what fits and make them dance a little better every hour, every day, every week. So it is working. It is working. This is an amazing group. And again, I very seldom go out and work with folklorico groups due to the respect that I have to the work that I did in Colima. Con el Ballet Folklorico de la Universidad de Colima. So, when I actually reached out and we started communicating back and forth that she had this plan, I think it was kind of right up my alley as to what she had been given as far as a Disney suite, Waltz to the Flowers, and to be able to take on that project, I think timing was absolutely wonderful. And again, it's just boom,
Right.
let's get to work. And it's absolutely the company. Her company, their dancers, from the second company all the way up to the professional company, is absolutely amazing. They're absolutely amazing. Maestra Kareli, you've done amazing work. And yes, it is one
It's
of the
been a
premier
very
companies. Yeah.
long and difficult. It's been a team effort.
Maestro,
Really?
I would like to hear from you. How was your shift from folklorico world to the ballet world?
Yeah.
I will appreciate to hear your experience because that was wild.
That's a big shift.
I'll tell you what.
That's a big shift.
When I first left home, or my dreams were always to dance. The first dream was to dance with Amalia. That's what I grew up learning. I learned all their repertoire. That's all I wanted to do. And when I finally was able to coax my mother into allowing me to venture into Mexico City and dance, she said, I'll let you go as long as you study. She said, I don't care what it is, but you study. So she did. She took me to Mexico City, and I was able to enroll in the school there and rehearse with the second company, but go to school. She passed away not long afterwards, and I had to come back home. I ventured again off to Colima, and I spent 6 years there. Again, my vision was always to dance. I did go to school. I performed with the company in Colima, but it was to dance. And once I had done my dancing and I had toured and gone wherever I was able to go, it was time to earn a living and eat.
Yeah.
Now, once you get to that point and you still want to dance, you have to venture off. My thing was, let's go back to the States. I went back home, and it was quite difficult to find a job in dance back at home. It was amazingly difficult, and a lot of cold shoulders.
Where's home?
El Paso, Texas.
Thank you.
So I ventured off to San Diego, and I arrived in San Diego with the same suitcase that had taken me to Colima and on all my European tours, and $50 in my pocket. And I had some of the most wonderful friends, again, lifelong friends through dance, that I had not seen since I had left to go live in Mexico. Now I'm back, and these friends of mine were associated and dancing with the California Ballet Company. While I was in school in Colima, we had ballet classes. The company trained in Graham. So I had a whole other background, and I said, this is it. There's a company right here. I have knowledge of something. I had never danced ballet or for a ballet company, but I had some classes, and I said, you know what, this is it. They're looking for guys, and they're paying money. And they need a production manager. So I signed up, took on the job as production manager, and started off as a ballet dancer. Fue brusco. It hurt. It hurt. From 4 years old to about 24, 25, all I had been doing and all my first love was folklore. I didn't know about pointing my feet. I didn't know anything about ballet. Nothing. But there was one thing I always remember from 4th grade, the first time I ever saw the movie White Nights. So I still had that dream, and it was right there in front of me for the taking. And all I ever wanted to be was a dancer. It started out with Folklorico, but in Colima I found out what I was able to do with all the teachers, what my body could do, and how I could transform it. And that was just it. You have to learn everything. You want to eat, you want to survive with this, you got to learn everything. So yes, I had to take off my boots, and from 2001 to 2008, I put on my boots maybe 2-3 times. I did not travel to Colima. I did not work with any folklorico groups. It was ballet. It hurt. I missed Colima. I missed the tours. There were so many things that happened a couple of years after I left it. one of the things that broke my heart was watching them in their pictures with the Pope. I would have been there. That was my generation. So, again, it hurt. But there are decisions that we have to make in order to keep going. I could have stayed there, but as our friend Abraham Peña, wonderful friend, él me retó. No te quiero ver aquí en tantos años. You go and keep working, and I did. So it hurt, and in 2008, I was able to go back. Thank you to El Potrillo, Juan Carlos, who invited me back to go teach every summer then on at the summer workshop series at the university. So I started getting back in, and I felt me again. And every year, 2008 to 2016, during the season, I was doing the ballet, and during the summer, I'd go back and be with the Folklorico family and was able to teach. So it was hard. It is hard. When you start not doing what you grew up doing, and you can, it's right there where you can still see it, taste it, and you can't do it because you have committed yourself to this other work. It's hard. It is hard. Ese cambio fue muy brusco, but again, what we were talking about, la necesidad, the necessity. I knew where it was. Are there any professional folklorico, Mexican folklore companies in the United States?
Nope.
No.
Does anybody dance under contract as a folklore dancer in the United States?
Nope.
No. Maybe unless you were to do. So that was it. I had done what I wanted to do, and it was time to move on. And being able to continue on as a professional ballet dancer, again, one of my wildest dreams, and I never thought I'd be doing that. But like you said, it's that need. And sometimes you really, I don't know how I did it, but I blocked everything, and that was it, and I had to continue on. Thankfully, those ties I never really severed. You can't, you want to continue with those friendships. So, but yeah, it was hard. It was hard leaving folklore and going off into ballet. But again, if Samarripa hadn't brought in all those teachers, if he hadn't taught me, if he hadn't shown me what I could do with my body as far as ballet and modern, I wouldn't have dared. I would have stayed there. Probably would have still been there. Which would have been great. But,
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But you said something, you've said it like twice in the podcast already, the need to evolve as
Yes.
dancers, just in general. You said it when we were talking about the Waltz of the Flowers. You said it's something new, something, so that we can evolve as dancers, as folklorico dancers, and then you said it again with your story, where you have this need to do something more. And I think that's something that we take for granted at times as I don't know, I don't want to say take for granted, but something we don't think about as times as creators that we have. When you have tools to do something new and you don't do it because of many reasons, sometimes you just can't. But sometimes we're just afraid. And
Comfortable.
Yeah.
That what we know, and that's it.
That's exactly.
Not taking that chance.
And especially with
able to
something like
evolve.
folklore.
Also, the folklorico world is so jealous.
Yeah, it's a very jealous.
World.
It's a very jealous world. Yes.
And
No, it is. But it is.
no,
It's true.
and also there's this fight, let's call it fight, with the tradition.
Yes.
Oh no,
Yes.
that's not the way that
Yeah.
we dress there or that we dance there. But
okay, I love where you're going, because every night since you gave me this project, I'm like, I'm gonna get a lot of heat for this, and how do I make this traditional? How do I make it cultural? How do I stick within the lines? And then I'm like, what lines?
Yes.
What lines?
yep.
Exactly.
It doesn't. It's not from any region.
Somebody else make them?
And we're on this side of the border. And we have complete artistic freedom.
Yes.
The one thing is trying to do something proper, something adequate that will showcase the work that the dancers have done. And again, the evolution. Where I'm going with this are, you know, really nice and light folklorico steps with a little bit of, you know, sweet, jazzy, balletic type contemporary movement. And it's pulling this out of the students because they've never done this type of stuff or combined this type of stuff before. But that's where it has to go. That's where we need to go. Why? Because they can, and because there's so much other dance out there. If they're not willing to take this on, but again, the whole evolution thing is, where are we going? Like you were saying,
Mm-hmm.
where are we going? Where are we going with this? We can do Veracruz over and over. We can do Jalisco over and over. We can do Chiapas. We can do all these regions, and everybody's seeing these regions, and it's great and wonderful. And we will continue to do them and teach them to the kids. But what can we do with the tools that we can use with all the genres of dance to elevate? One of the prime examples, and we will continue to be going through that, Amalia Hernandez and what she's done. She's touring the United States right now. Sold out.
Tonight, she's here.
There you go.
She was here. Yeah. Tomorrow, too.
The schooling from Samarripa, Nieves Paniagua, you know, these people are taking these traditions and making them theirs. Their little touches, but respecting the culture, respecting the traditions, and we will continue to do that. With this show, we're on the other side of the border. We're given beautiful music, and it has to, the quality, the product, the dancing has to fit all of that. Especially because we have live music from a wonderful mariachi.
Yes.
So it has to fit, and we do. This is the evolution right here. We are living it right now, and whatever comes of this show, these choreographies, again, these are premieres. These are premieres, and hopefully, long lasting.
Yes.
And an important thing that we cannot lose is folklorico is still dance. Dance. So as a dance, it's one of the beauty arts, isn't it? So art, I'm leaving it there, the art, creation, and it's not square, it's not static. Moves, evolve, and as a dance, we have a lot of tools that need to be used in order to evolve and in order to nourish the folklorico world, to nourish the culture, to nourish our traditions. Because I don't know if you've seen these videos or these stories about a group of folklorico dancers that also they do hip hop, and they're fusing it.
Yeah.
They're using their traditions because they're from that town, but also they love hip hop, and that hip hop is now part of their culture because they're living it.
Wow.
And they're using it because it's part of them. So they're doing interesting things with this Diablos dance from Guerrero.
Oh wow.
Wow.
And fusing it with hip hop.
¿Qué tal?
They're doing interesting things, but as you say, they will survive or they will evolve if they're doing it in the right way. If these pertinente, as our maestro said, have to be pertinente.
No solamente vas a respetar lo que es la tradición del folclore, pero también
What about you?
pero también hay una historia y hay un cuento detrás de lo que es el hip hop.
Sí.
Lo hay,
Y se lo
sí.
tiene que, una semblanza de los dos se tiene que hacer muy bien. Y obviamente se tiene que tener bailarines bastantes bien no tan solo como bailarines de folclore, pero de hip hop. ¿Y qué tal? ¿De dónde viene eso? ¿Dónde están esos maestros? ¿Dónde están esos maestros que...? Y tenemos unos en Colima que sí saben del folclore y saben del hip hop y break y maravilloso. Ahora, ¿qué? Si sabes de quién hablo, maestro, si estás viendo, I see you. So, yeah,
Yes.
we're and you mentioned it earlier. And I'll give you a good example, but the risk. The risk. The risk. We don't know what people are going to say. We don't know if they're going to like it. We don't know if we're going to have an empty house at intermission because nobody liked it.
Right.
But all of Samarripa's choreographies at one time or another were very highly scrutinized. Just
Yeah.
And when he first did things at the university, people didn't like it. People walked out.
Well,
Blasphemy.
Polino Guerrero was an example. People hated it because, oh my God, you're showing death. But what was he doing in that?
Yeah.
It wasn't just, I'm going to show death. It was so much more than that.
Yes.
And so many people didn't see that at first. It's like, oh my God, they're showing death. No, it's not death. It's more than that. It took a while for, I mean, some people caught on right away. It's like, that's amazing. Others like, oh my God, it's death.
Right.
So
The
you're
acceptance
dealing
of
with that.
something
Yeah.
different.
Yeah,
That's what
And
it is.
people, how do you say
There it is.
had to learn or accept or realize, no, there's a different concept out there. It's not bad. It's just different. And you may end up, and look at it, read it, feel it, and you may like it, or maybe you don't.
Yeah.
At least you've experienced it.
And along the same lines, he took that risk.
Exactly. He took that risk. And look at it now.
Yeah.
Look at it now.
So yeah.
You think of, I mean, it's one of those
Think
things
of
you think
Polino
of, that's
Guerrero, you
Mexico.
think of Universidad de Colima. That's
We're
what you
taking a
think?
beautiful risk.
Yeah.
And the ride has been absolutely marvelous so far.
You said something important, and I think sometimes myself, even when I travel to Colima, I don't think a lot of people understand what it's like dancing folklorico on this side of the border.
It's different.
And because we don't, most of us were born here,
Yep.
and we're brought up,
Yeah.
and our parents want us to do something to keep us tied to our culture. Because at home we are Mexican,
Yep.
My nana, mi tata, mi tia, we live like Mexicans at home, but then we go to school and we're American, So then, how are we gonna bring that into the folklorico world on this side of the border?
See,
Without-
and the twist on that is my experience, because I'm third generation. I mean, my family, my father's family, they came into Texas before 1900, and then came to California, no stops, and they came directly from West Texas into the San Joaquin Valley. They didn't stop in between. They were working the railroad. But the point is, when I grew up, I didn't know I was Mexican until my older brother told me one day.
Really?
Yeah, because somebody had called me wetback, and I didn't know what it meant.
You're like, wait a
When I
minute.
told him, he got mad. Well, what did you do?
Did you go like,
Was I
no, it's
supposed to do
not?
something? Yeah, it's like, it
Come
isn't.
over, join
But
the
I didn't
family.
know. That's how American I was raised in my household. Even though my parents were bilingual, they spoke Spanish to each other, to their relatives and all that, but only English to us. So for me, I wanted to be Mexican. My dad wanted to assimilate. He was wanted to be part of everyone else and not have any issues. And so he would not. It was his decision. We
Plain
would
and
not
safe,
speak
yeah.
Spanish in our house. We speak
Wow.
English. We are American. We're going to speak
No wonder.
English.
Yeah.
And so I had to learn. I took it upon myself. So I want to be part of this. I want to know.
Wow.
And then Folklorico has been that for me. That's how I've been able to connect with Mexico. Is Folklorico.
And learn
Because you know how
Spanish.
well I speak Spanish.
Learn Spanish.
But it's dance. So if there's one part of me that's Mexican, it's dance.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. And exactly to what she said, what is it like dancing on this side of the border?
Yep.
Because on this side, my entire life, I thought I was Mexican.
Yeah. Are you go to Mexico and then
This
they're
is
like,
what
hey, you're
this
American.
is what
Yeah.
Kareli is referring to. Growing up here, yes, somos los mexicanos. But when I ventured to the other side to go study in Mexico, soy el gringo.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Así como decía mi amigo Abraham, gringo. But it's true, and it makes you think. It's like, okay, I'm not from there or there, and this has been Por eso existe todo el movimiento chicano. La identidad. On this side, why is it important that we do this? Cultural identity. We need to know where we came from, and we need something to hold on to. And in these organizations, you are part of something bigger than yourself that has been passed down for generations. I think that's what's most important.
And also, I think an important thing that this company is doing is trying to find that identity. Because, yes, we're holding into Mexican traditions or identity, but also as a Mexican American,
Yes.
Yeah.
you have to create your own identity.
Yes.
Because, yes, you're Mexican, but part of it. Because also you're living in the States.
It's different.
And you feel American, and you're American.
Yes.
Yes, no, you're
Yes.
absolutely right.
And then you're zapatating.
And then you are zapatating.
That's it.
You a very good point. My
That's
first,
what we do here.
my first folklorico group, Ballet Folklorico International Ballet Folklorico de Rosa Guerrero, in El Paso, Texas. Not only did we have all our cuadros de regiones, but we had suits made for zoot suit, and we danced zoot suit. We did flamenco. We did all kinds of other things because she was international, and we have that ability here.
Yeah.
We have that.
Yeah,
Why?
we do.
Because we at arm's length, we have all the beautiful cultures living amongst us.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Very
there
diverse.
is no reason to be able to tap into all of that, share and enjoy, and again, nourish ourselves. And this goes much further than just cultural identity, but learning about other cultures brings upon a lot of peace in the world.
We need it.
You get to know where people come from, what their stories are, and the fact that they're just like us.
Yeah. When I started dancing when I was in college, it was an international folk ensemble, North Country International Folk Ensemble. We did Eastern, Central European, and Mexican. So that's where I started Mexican dance, was with this other group where I was doing Russian, Ukrainian, Polish, Hungarian, Romanian, all of that. And Mexican.
You could have gone dancing for Moisia.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I really liked doing the Ukrainian and the Hungarian was just fabulous. Very, very athletic.
Yeah.
Very macho.
But you decided to be a lawyer. What's wrong with you?
Silly me.
But
But
where
then,
did
after college and then after law school, all I did was folklorico. And I guess
Same thing.
part of that too, of course, was having met Susie Cashin in '84 when I graduated, and then staying in contact with her. And then after law school, when I had time to dance again, because full-time law and working part-time to pay for it, when I had time, I contacted Susie and started doing just folklorico. But that's how I started, was international.
Yeah. We all have that different story where how you started dancing, but
Yeah.
we're gonna take a quick pause just so we can let our Facebook followers
Or Instagram.
or Instagram, if they have any questions you want to ask
Ask some
Maestros,
questions.
ask questions,
And
anything
we'll
you
get
want to
back
know.
to you.
Comments.
Any comments, anything you want to know.
Arturo Moreno, saludos desde San Francisco,
Oh
California.
wow! Saludos San Francisco.
¿Qué huele? Carlos Fletes, tío.
¿Qué
Tío,
hubo?
¿Qué
tío,
huele?
Carlos,
Qué
tío.
huele.
Yeah, en Facebook.
Okay, I'm not getting you so much.
Saludos al pollo Cuellar.
Pollo, sí.
That's right.
Pio, pio.
While we were talking, the one, the only, Jimmy Pollo Cuellar arrived. He's on the other side of the camera right now, checking out his iPhone, but he is here.
Yes.
We should bring him onto the panel to talk about the
Sí.
music.
That's right.
Just got off
Yeah.
work.
He just got up for work.
He's chilling. He's chilling.
He's still wearing his white shirt.
He's still in uniform, as they say.
Uh-huh. So how so far has been your experience working with us? I mean, we want to know.
Okay.
Terrible.
Yes, okay.
Terrible.
All right. We'll compromise. I'll answer your question, but all of you four, because I'm just one, but you four have to answer. Will answer my question.
Yeah, of course.
No.
Yes. Sounds
Truth
great.
or dare.
Sounds good.
So-
Truth or dare.
Working with you all, I saw you guys years ago in San Diego. You had started working with the company,
With the
and
first year of the
2013.
company.
Yeah,
There
it
was,
2012.
2012, December 2012.
Yes, yes.
there was some
remember.
excitement in the air. It's
Yes.
like, wow, and this
Yes.
dude
Uh-huh.
He
was
there
in town.
already?
Yeah.
Well, he was
yeah.
here doing workshops at the
Yes.
time I
Oh,
was.
you're right.
And then you guys left
Oh,
to
that's right.
San Diego, and then the
Yeah,
next
I
day
went
we
that
went to go
one
do
night.
something else.
That's
you
when
guys,
Larry came into the
I
group.
showed up
Right.
on that, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
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 I was
Yeah.
with
So-
the other group.
Uh-huh.
That's when I first started hearing about this
These new
The
kids.
project.
vision.
New
The
kids.
vision.
Yeah.
The-
New kids on the
block.
block.
And I've been interested, but again, not only do I have a lot of work, or at that time, a lot of work in San Diego, but staying back.
Yeah.
Again, the respect to the work that I did, you can't compare it anywhere, and I'm not going to touch anything, and I've already been burned. So, yeah, I'm going to step back and watch. And I know people, Freddy was here,
Yes.
you've been here, other people have come through. So, standing back and watching, but every month, every year, there was something new, something interesting, and you're just going. So, all of a sudden, I'm just like, okay, I gotta go. Something happened this year where all of a sudden things opened up, made it a little easier to go. So I am here. And I was pleasantly surprised. To be honest with you, sometimes you don't know what to expect, but I figured in my mind, I came with a peace of mind because of the fact that you're here, you're schooling. And I was in absolute heaven because the work that's already been done, the groundwork that has been laid,
The foundation.
yes sir,
Yeah.
is quite amazing. Absolutely amazing. There's a lot to be said for your hard work and tenacity because you haven't stopped. You've been right along her side. You're here whenever you come down here. Larry is, again, right there. He's, sometimes he's that glue that makes everything, hold together,
brings the
and he's
peace.
always...
And justice.
There you go, el abogado. So it was amazing. The first weekend, last weekend was absolutely fabulous because you guys picked stuff up really, really quick, and there was a lot of interest and a lot of positive feedback. So as you've seen last weekend and this weekend, there's still a lot of work to be done as to my approach and what I'm trying to get through to your dancers and how I'm trying to make them move. And it'll take some time. I am absolutely in love with everybody's work and ethic. I just want to make sure I keep coming. I want to see, in 1 year, what we have done. You guys have done marvelously, but I'd like to get to the mix and see what happens in 1 year and how they've grown, what they can do. So yeah, I go back and I'm trying to work, but I can't. I'm like a little kid again in school where my feet are tapping all day, and the weekend comes and
Let's do this.
let's go to work. So tables have turned again. My focus was ballet. My focus right now has just, this project really just like woke me up and it's like, this is why you've worked all these years. Here you go. Itzy, me da miedito. But again, that risk. And I have
That
beautiful people, friends to help me out. So,
Yeah.
Oh, that was great.
That was great.
Well, we're happy to be
Yeah.
working with you. It's for us, it's an honor.
Yeah.
I think something that we've tried to do from the beginning is to keep the dancers with an open mind, because unfortunately in other groups and growing up, I don't know if it happened to any of you, but sometimes they teach you this is the way and the only way and this is how it's done. But if from the beginning, like we start bringing in other maestros and keeping the dancers with an open mind, then so much more can be done and at a faster rate.
yes.
As well. Yeah, so we're lucky to have great dancers, and
Great
we
teachers.
try to keep them
You guys have great
grounded
leaders.
and with an open mind, which I think has to be done in order to evolve, like we were talking about.
Not only that, but bringing in these maestros, teachers, I think it's important that they bring in, for me especially, I always say it's the technique, la técnica que traen. I think that's very important as a dancer, to know your technique, to know what needs to be done. So the day of tomorrow, like it's done before. Hey, we're dancing with the symphony orchestra. Well, we need a mambo. You know? Raza con mambo. But if you have the technique, you can do so much.
And see, here's
It's incredible.
Here's just it. You talk about teachers. You talk about learning different things. When I was living in Colima, el maestro Samarripa brought Memo in, and we had one workshop one weekend. It was all mambo steps.
Yep.
So yeah, those things come in handy.
Yes.
Like, wow. Okay. Yes, saludos al maestro Memo.
Memo, sé que nos estás viendo.
But you were just talking about
La técnica de los maestros que traen.
yeah, thank you.
Yes.
There was no technique when we were younger. The word didn't even exist. We warmed up. Personally, when I was a little kid, we'd start walking, maybe a little bit of running, and then just doing steps in a circle. Carretilla, zapateado, just continue. Circle, 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 circle till you're done. And then you start working on the numbers. And very interesting because years later, I find myself in Colima, and Raza had not been given that name.
No.
And we were all part of creating,
Yep.
of putting our 2 cents in. So I was there at, early stages, and even still, he started with the dancers from the 80s. So it took years of that evolution, and being able to see all of that and be there with the maestro with his shoes on still.
Wow.
And to continue that, now we have a technique, we have something to be.
Yes.
But to be there with him, with his shoes on, to hear and see that man with his shoes, and for him to challenge you.
Eric says there's a comment or a question.
Adam Neve, technique is a must, 100%. My son could totally benefit from this. Wish you guys go have workshops on just technica.
Whatever you want.
Well, the more students and parents that are interested in that, we are always happy to help. It's being able to reach those students to make them realize they need this. Though it has already evolved.
Yes.
You want to get to where things are really at, to how people are really dancing. This is what we need to do. And it's anywhere. You go into athletics, how are they training? Musicians, how are they studying? How are they learning? Technology goes a long way, learning goes a long way, and it's always evolving. So that's what we're trying to get at.
And we see it a lot in sports and everything, that what the athlete was 20 years ago to now, it's amazing. You have all these tools, all these things that you can use that as dancers, even us when we warm up, we use a lot of the tools of athletes because we are athletes.
Oh, yeah.
We are using our physical body. We train like athletes. Oh my God.
I'm sore right now from last I'm sore from last week. But
we're always sore.
You said there wasn't technica, but now there is. So why don't we use the tools we have now in 2018? That's why Samarripa started the technica in the first place.
So there can be something.
So there can be something for us to use in the future.
Not only that, but it's to take care of what's important as a dancer. What is it?
Your body.
Your body. Your technique is to help you preserve and to live a longer dance life than by the age of 35 or 40 you're done. No. Now with this technique you can last longer. Larry's one of them.
Survivor.
Chilo's one of them.
Survivor.
Chilo's a grizzly bear.
Ain't ready for retirement.
There's things that I used to see my 40-year-old maestros, they couldn't do anymore because their knees were shot or Our bodies were
Well,
shot.
luckily, two of our maestros, great maestros, Benjamin Hernandez,
Yes.
who is, I'm not going to say how old he is. He went to La Escuela de Artes Plásticas con Samarripa, so that says it all.
Yeah.
He was a painter. And if you see him now,
Yes.
he looks great.
He looks great.
He dances great.
Yes.
He's great.
Yeah.
And why? Because he dances with technique, and he's been teaching
Yes.
with technique.
Yeah.
Also, Miguel Angel Diaz, who
Yes.
was part of his
His ensemble,
one
his
of his
dancers.
ensembles,
Uh-huh.
well, back in the day.
Igual
He
que el
still
maestro Polo.
dances. Polo.
Oh, yeah?
También.
Ramón Vega,
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Ramón Caracol,
Yeah.
Oh, no, no.
Martín,
Estás hablando.
Oh,
Nato.
But these are all maestros that use the technique, learn the technique, or even evolve the technique to a certain point to take care of it.
They started that.
They started. They're the pioneers of
Yep.
that. And we took all that, especially to still have this career.
So I'm gonna get
your
the
question.
evolution. No,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
gonna ask you a question first, but I want to
Yeah.
touch on something really, really quick. Don't let me forget my question to you guys.
Okay.
The evolution that we're talking about. Everybody has seen La Danza del Venado de Amalia Hernandez.
Yes.
Everyone.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful creation.
Yes.
Now, don't you think that after 50 plus years, that choreography and those dancers would have evolved? There is ballet. They do train in ballet. That company trains in ballet. That deer should be doing a lot more than he's doing. And those jumps should be a little bit higher, and there should be some sort of a technique visible. It's not. The dancers that come on the sides, the hunters, again, off the music and very little technique. That's what irks me, is that it has not progressed. Because it is a beautiful choreography, but the way it could be done right now,
Should be in a different level.
exactly. And it has not been changed. It has not been it has not evolved for the better. Keep the same music, keep the same costumes. The structure's already there, and those steps are there. She already stylized everything. Now bring it up to date. That's one of the things that kind of irks me. If you're not going to be with the times, you're going to stay. And there are many groups out there that are going to be left behind because they're not evolving either.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal. But my question to you guys was, because I did go home and stress about it, and I was stressing about it before coming down here last weekend, and I stressed about it this weekend and before coming in. But my question to you guys is, I'm coming here and I'm making your dancers do different things like stretching and all these other different movements, but what I'm actually teaching and trying to choreograph and all these different steps, do you feel that it is, one, appropriate, and is it fitting to the music that I've been given? And do you have been dancing it? Do you like watching the movement, and do you enjoy doing the movement? Is there substance there? Is there something to chew on? I know it's at its inception. You're getting to watch it. Myself too. I'm getting to create this little thing. But is it enjoyable? That's where I'm at. Is it going to be good? Is it going to be good enough? Do you like it? I don't know.
Oh, wait, go.
I need a refill.
Okay.
Bottle. By the way, we have some fabulous volcano coffee from Colima.
Yes.
In the pot there. That is wonderful.
Well, I think for us, usually I choreograph most of the dances that we perform. I have brought in other choreographers. Jonathan has choreographed for us. Rafa, who's not here with us, but hopefully he's watching. He's choreographed some pieces for us. For us, we love that you're here, because to us it's a different approach, a challenge more than anything,
That's
which
what
makes
I
the
like to
class
hear.
fun. Because when one is learning, you're having fun. If it's
Yes.
something new, you're having fun.
Yeah, I was going to say
But
that.
something that I thought was really cool, and I haven't even told Jimmy yet, but he's here, so he's gonna hear it. Is the fact that I grew up as a musician too. Since I was a kid, I was in music, and I was drum major in high school. I was a band geek. And so when I hear music, I always like to listen to the rhythms of la armonía. And I've never encountered another choreographer who did that until now. In Beauty and the Beast, you know? And I'm like, wow, that's badass.
I haven't told you this, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but
that's fine.
I can take the mic over there so he can
when
answer
she
to your
told
question.
me I want this and this and this, and I went home that evening,
Come this way.
and I'll tell you what, I've been focusing more on Beauty and the Beast, but Jimmy, I can't listen to that by myself without crying. And I don't know, I really, to be honest with you, there's so many things that are just swirling around in my head, but it takes me back to being 4 or 5 years old and putting on Antología de Mariachi Bárbaros, and those arrangements just pulling something out of me, and I didn't know where. You've given me that beautiful gift with your arrangement of Beauty and the Beast, and it's driving me nuts. And as you say, the deciphering, I call it a code or decoding. When I listen to music, I'm trying to figure every little thing out, and there's so many little trills and twists, and where this comes in and that comes in, that it makes me sick, because that's how my mind works, and I'm trying to just desglosar todo, take everything apart, and all of a sudden the folklore drops in, and and all of a sudden I'm just like, wow, there's something to hold on to right there. But it was just that arrangement, it's driving me nuts in a good way, but there's this melancholiness, there's this beauty that every time I hear it, when I'm alone working on it, me saca las lágrimas. Me acuerdo de mi mamá, de mi infancia, de lo que quiero hacer, de por qué hago esto. And that's the song, and it hasn't happened in years.
No, thank you for that. I mean, when you said it made you cry, I was hoping that you were going to say that. Oh, I didn't like it. It's hurting my ears. But, I mean, you know, when that project came up, era algo pues, primero, ya es una canción muy bonita, ¿no? The melody itself is beautiful. Then, well, how can I, knowing that it's going to be put to folklorico, how can I make this more Mexican, more mariachi, more folklorico? So the thing that came out was un guapango, un son, right? And so, but I'm thinking, well, this romantic melody and a song, maybe not too much, right? Pero un guapango can fit in. Yeah. And it worked. Like, it was just one of those happy accidents.
Yeah. Happy accidents.
For people who don't know, this was all done in a matter of a week.
Yeah.
So we got the phone call. I convinced them to work with Jimmy. Yeah. Or anything. And then all the parts were recorded and arranged, and everything was done by Jimmy, and then Orpheus came in on the trumpet, but it was quick.
Yes.
The video itself was made in 2 hours.
Yes.
We had no idea what was going to happen.
Right.
And luckily it went viral. But why? Because of the music, I have to say. The music is great.
Yeah. The arrangement is just,
Well, I think it was a combination of both. No, I mean, porque once the video came out, what was all the comments? Oh, I wanted to make quinceañera.
But here's it. They had a visual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had a visual.
You know, but it became, I mean, because we got calls all the time. You're the mariachi, but yes, you're watching my daughter's quinceañera. Muy bien. Vamos. No preocupéis.
Callitos.
Y ahí, señores, ahí la evolución del folklore.
Yeah.
Evolution
And I think
and
it
the identity.
Identity. And also, but a lot of people who weren't Mexican identified because they recognized
The
the music.
Yes.
And that's why not make it, it's something that could go mainstream if you know, because people who are not Mexican are going to, recognize these tunes that they've heard before. And then just, I would have never thought I'd hear a mariachi version of Beauty and the Beast growing ever.
And it's funny because it takes us back to what we were talking about earlier about identifying, because we are American, because we were born here, but yet we have our culture, the Mexicanos. We all these kids grow up watching Beauty and the Beast, But yet now it's playing by a mariachi. You're like, wait, I have
Pero
both.
Mexico
We have
también.
a combination.
Se
Yep.
Beauty and the
You
Beast,
know?
La Bella y la Bestia.
Yeah, la Bella Bestia and everything.
Mariachi.
And
Yep.
mariachi.
Todas mis primas en México me mandaron mensajes.
Wow.
¿eh?
Yep, and that's just it.
Hola,
Now,
prima.
The evolution of the music.
with just that, the arrangement, the video, the choreography, you've crossed the border. People are
Yeah.
seeing that. People are wanting that.
Yeah.
People are opening up their eyes. And now, because of this, evolving. So that's where we're going this. But yes, Jimmy, that arrangement. Da, 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 boom, 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 boom. Dun, dun, dun. It's like, wow! Where the hell did that come
Yeah.
from? It's like, and you listen to the original song, you're like, how did he come up with that?
Yeah.
How did that? So yeah, and the whole Wapango thing. Once you get there, the change of music in there, it's like el rasqueo. Yeah, it was just y se presta muy bien para el folclore.
Yeah.
Now
Big time.
is just stylizing it and being able to dance slow
Making it
and
right.
calm.
Yeah.
And again, making it right. Because there is a huge job. I mean, we got to live up to that arrangement.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah, because
To be honest with you.
you know, and I think for the most part, like your question earlier about, I know I appreciate the workshops, maestros from years of dancing, and even with Miguel Diaz, he used to bring in maestros from Veracruz,
Durango.
from Durango, from every summer. He used to bring them in. He's like, why travel there when we can bring them here, invite them to our homes, invite them to our group, and learn all these different technicas and bailes and everything. And why not? We have the advantage to do that here, you know, because it's good. I'm grateful every day when I'm there. I mean, I don't know if you've seen it, but I just try to take everything you say and everything you do and everything that, because you said it, like, even to our kids today, our angelitos, that we're also giving them workshops, and that's the next generation for this group.
Yeah.
That's the next goal, but we're making them so to a point where it's just, let's work, they come up, no problem.
And that's why today was the way it was.
Yeah.
It's slow and deliberate
Yes.
work. It may be monotonous and redundant, but that's the work. That's why I turned to you guys and I'm like, okay, do you feel a difference? Do you see a
Yeah.
difference? And are you know, is the team working a little bit differently? Did you enjoy these?
I think the team is working differently, and I think that's good.
I will say two words: passion
Yes.
and enjoy,
Mm-hmm.
or living it. I don't know, but I will say enjoy.
Yeah.
And I think is that what this guy brings?
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere he stand up, there's passion.
Yes.
It's passion, and besides, is a picture of Oscar Burciaga there.
No, see?
This guy is
See?
passion. It's passion.
Now you're leaving a
Thank you.
stampita to this group.
Oh yeah.
You're
That's it.
leaving that little stamp that
Yeah.
you're one of those. Igual como even like you said, even in Universidad de Colima, like he brought in all these different maestros to teach you certain styles or whatever, and we tell our kids and we tell even the adults like, hey, learn. Hey, take all this because you never know where you're gonna use it. Never know.
Yeah, I tattooed your name on my shoulder. Jonathan and Freddie and.
Any questions or
My girlfriend's
comments?
just what? Any more questions?
We good?
Hi.
We good?
Saludos.
Okay.
Saludos
Jose
siempre.
Pina.
Saludos. Do we
Any
have any
questions
saludos?
for Jimmy?
Mari,
How
should we
about-
say hi?
Saludos, Jose Pina. Saludos, Itlali, Lupis. La Lupis is
Hey,
watching.
hello, Lucas.
Anita Romero.
Zaira, that's it.
Good.
Nice.
Any more?
Hi, Priscilla, Maria Teresa,
Oh, sí.
Monica Rodriguez.
Oh, yeah?
What about our audience? Do the
Adrián
audience have
Velasco.
any comments?
Yeah.
Did you happen to have any questions for me?
Yes. Our audience. We have a wonderful audience
Yeah.
today.
Leslie, did you have any
Lupe
questions?
says hello, everybody.
Oh,
Yes.
hello, you.
Hello, you.
Hello, everybody. Hello.
I forgot to mention that Jonathan will be doing the lighting. He's a lighting designer for the
Yeah, that's
concert.
gonna be fabulous, man.
Yeah.
So it's
Pop
all
up.
work.
And
lot
we
of
will most
work.
likely be
Yeah, it'll be
also
a lot of
on
work.
stage.
It's a lot of
Yes.
no sleep that most of
Yeah.
us have been doing
Look
for
at
the
it.
past year. This year has been, I think, for a lot of us, a non-sleep year.
Yeah.
For a lot of us, the work that we've, I think, that we've done, and the company has grown to a maximum to this point, to the point that we have 2 studios now, because we're expanding so much and so fast.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's because we also bring in so much maestros, techniques, that people want to see that. Even like earlier, the gentleman, they asked about his son and this technique, because
It's important.
it's important, and we're growing, and we're evolutionizing the world.
Zaira Chavez. You
Zaira.
teachers rock. Ethan and Cassidy love you guys.
Ah, thank you. Go Ethan, go Cassidy. Yes.
So we'll see you tomorrow, bright and early.
Yes. We'll be there.
Bring chocolate.
It's been an interesting year from the beginning.
Yes.
We never did a podcast about this. I wish we would have done this sooner. But last March we were called to do the Oscars, and that for me was a ask Jimmy if I slept. Yeah, just because for me, I never thought this would happen in the first place. I mean, come on, are you kidding me? Folklorico at the Oscars, but it was the same challenge where you have this piece of music that's not meant for Folklorico, and somehow you have to transform it where the audience is not gonna, take offense to it.
Yep.
They're actually gonna enjoy what they're looking at.
And also,
And the first person I called was Jonathan, because I'm like,
Yeah.
Jonathan, this is what's going on. We have this piece of music that's not easy to choreograph Folklorico steps to. I'm freaking out. Because, come on, like, how many people watch the Oscars, right?
Yep.
So
Millions.
I also called my maestro, Benjamin Hernandez. And, luckily, he pushed me. You did too. You're like, go for it. But it was not easy, mainly because of the fears, the music,
And it's the Oscars.
yeah, it's the
That's a
Oscars.
big-
And also the dancers, because you don't know how far you can push them until you're there. What was very cool about the Oscars was that they hosted the auditions at my studio.
Yeah.
So they said, okay, bring all your dancers.
Yeah.
Mandy Moore was the choreographer,
Yes.
the lead choreographer. I was her assistant in this case, and they brought us all into my studio. I'm like, Mandy Moore's at my studio. What the heck is happening here, right? She was a choreographer for La La Land, the
Yeah.
movie. So I thought that was badass
Yeah.
that they brought
Yes.
in this choreographer to use folklorico dancers on the Oscars stage. And I'm like, wow, these kids are from Boyle Heights. We're from East Los, and we're getting the chance to be on this stage as Mexican Americans, because nobody on that stage is Mexican. Okay, we're all our parents are Mexican, our grandparents are Mexican, but we have the chance to put that on that stage. But at the same time, you have the same dilemma where you're like, we have to do it well, and we have to use the music they want,
Yep.
and also work with the producers and the directors and Disney.
Yeah,
So
that's-
it's a big task.
Yeah,
But
that
if
must-
you don't do it, someone else is gonna do it.
Yes, ma'am.
So.
You took the risk. You said
Yes.
Oh yeah, the risk is important.
It is important.
I think
But
to take the responsibility. The responsibility was in your shoulders to making it right, and making it neat, and most of it to make it feel it in your heart and not offend anyone. Because nowadays we're at extra sensitive.
yes.
Yes.
There's a sensibility,
Yeah.
but at highest level. So you have to be careful about what you're saying, what you're dressing, what you putting on stage. Like the other day, you told me about this Amalia performance,
Mhm.
the Negrito del Bate. That was, for some people, that was offensive.
They didn't bring it this time to LA. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dentro de Fiesta Tlacotalpa.
They brought in a calaca.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, because
because,
yeah.
we're
No, era
getting
de-
new
era-
eyes.
También, claro.
They didn't bring him.
Yeah.
know.
So that's
New
why you
mentality
have
growing up where
and we
everything
have to
changes.
be aware of that.
Yeah.
And yeah, of course, our folklore is machista.
Mm-hmm.
It's misógino.
Yes,
It is.
It is, but that was the culture
But
back
now,
then.
and I think that's one of our tasks too. How can we transform that issues? Like, yes, our culture is in that way. We are racist. Yes, we are. As Mexicans, yes, we are. Sorry, but we are. We're classist. Somos clasistas.
Mm-hmm.
See?
Somos misóginos. Somos machistas. And yes, that's part of our culture and that's part of our history. And we have to put it on stage too, but also we have to come with new propuestas to say, yes, we were this, but
Yeah.
we are trying to be in this level now.
But I think it's
Yeah.
important for people, and
Yes.
like I
How do
tell
you do that?
I tell my kids
Well.
too
Mhm.
that whatever's on stage, it's like a movie. When you're portraying something that's historical, that's how it was. Doesn't mean that it is now.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah,
gonna take you
absolutely.
back.
Exactly.
You're taking back. You're saying this is how it was, but this is how we have evolved as humans, and that's where you learn the life lesson.
So,
That this is how it was, and yeah, take it. Yeah, it hurts. Yeah, it feels bad, but you need to feel that because now we're a better.
And also, art is for what is art? It's
Yeah.
for feel.
And to
What?
tell stories.
You have to
Story.
feel.
Yeah.
You have to be
You have to
touched.
feel something.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it is. Happiness, sadness,
Angry.
angry, whatever.
Yeah.
Feel something.
Yep. But what are we gonna do now? Like, we have to show up.
And that's where
come up
the
with
evolution
something.
comes in.
And what if let's say, just because it happened to me now that I went in the Bernstow,
Yes.
like one of the girls that she wanted to do the Iguana.
Uh-huh.
She wanted to jump.
She wanted to jump, and she was practicing, and she did it awesome.
Fabulously.
Did you
And I
let her?
said, yes, of course. But later on, like, it's like working with this girl, like some issues like the dress and everything. But we didn't put it on stage. But at my main point is like the intention is there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
How can we
This
do
is
something like this?
Yeah, like, of course, I said, of course, let's work on
You
it.
should have taken that skirt off, man.
Mhm.
You should have taken that skirt off. You should have let her dance without a skirt and do that jump because that would have been the first time you put that on video.
It will, yeah, it will see amazing.
Or she can be skirting.
I'll
take
tell
off the
you
skirt
what.
like an iguana,
I'll
una
give
cola,
you-
que se le corte y toda la iguana está viva.
No,
Yeah, yes,
I mean,
and
it's
she's not
something
the
to
only
work
one,
on.
too.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
gonna
something
give
to
you
work on.
yeah, and you're right. You're on this path with that, and you next time you let her do it. You go back, let her do it. You've done when you were in the workshops for Colima, you danced Russian
Yes.
from the Nutcracker that I said.
Right.
You were awesome. I have video of that. He was awesome. Years ago, we didn't have enough guys. But there was one girl in the company who could jump like no other, and she could turn. Her name is Kendall Foote. She was the lead soloist. So she had 4 guys, 2 on each side, and the girl as Russian right in the middle. So next time, you take that skirt off. Figure it out, la
Yeah.
necesidad. Figure it
Yeah.
out.
Well, the thing is, she's probably not the only one.
Exactly.
Yeah,
There's
the
gotta
other
be
one-
She was
more.
probably the one that
You
said, you know what,
wanna
I
do
want
that?
to do this. Let's do it.
Yeah, the first one that said to
I
you,
know.
I want to do that,
Yeah.
and then showed you she could.
Yeah.
And there'll be
She
others
proved
out
it.
there who can as well.
That's the first person I thought of right now.
Porque si hay mujeres iguanas.
Yeah, because there's
Sí
Iguana.
es, que son mujeres, ¿sí, no? O sea,
And most of
obviamente.
them, they're hembras.
Yeah. Ajá, ajá. And if you really think about it, that's what it is. Muchas son de
Yeah, so
Yes, la
we
iguana.
have a lot of work to do.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
So
Yes.
yeah,
Well,
I thank you for all of this.
No, no.
I hope to continue to work with you guys.
Yes,
and,
yeah.
many years in the
And
future.
this won't be the last one that we do live.
This is the first.
This is just
It's
the
the
first of many.
Yes.
We're getting back into since we've been busy, it's been kind of hard to do
Yeah.
these.
It's hard to get together.
Otherwise, at night we don't sleep at all.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But
Grandpa
if you
needs to
have
sleep.
some topics that you want
Yes.
to talk about it,
Oh,
or
yeah.
some
Yes.
questions,
Oh yeah, definitely.
some
For next time,
suggestions, please let us know. Okay,
Oh, we have one more
a
question before we
yes.
go. Yes.
Should it?
Yes.
Brittany Lopez
Brittany.
asked, Maestro Oscar, what's your next goal in your dance career?
Boom!
Oscar,
Who
you
asked
start?
that?
One of our
Brittany
students,
Lopez.
Brittany.
Where's that? Huh.
She's on Instagram.
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 Oh,
That's
yeah.
What
right.
you can just answer it.
What was the question again? What's my next
Next goal,
project?
yeah,
Dance
What's your
next
next
goal?
goal in your dance career?
Oh my goodness!
I
You
know,
know, I'm gonna be honest with you. Goals I had back in the day. Right now, my goals are to finish this project, try and finish out this current season with the California Ballet, and after that, I need to transition. I'm 42 years old. I can't dance at the level that I'm used to or that I have been at. I have to slow down. I have to do something else. When you start going and dancing alongside 18, 19-year-olds and in your 40s, you don't move the same way. The body hurts. Yes, I can still hold my own, but I have to open up my eyes and realize the fact that there are other things that I should be doing, hence this. So my next goal, to be honest with you, and now that you're making me really, really think about it, because I'm always in the moment. My next goal is to see this through. My next goal is to finally start putting more eggs into this basket, which is my folklore world, and I have chosen somewhere to go to and to latch onto, and I hope to. My goal would be to turn around in 1 year and see where have we grown, how have we grown, and what are we doing. I'm finally getting back into the folklore world, and I think for me, it's not only scary because I have to transition again, but I think it's always been where I'm meant to be. And right now the current goal is to make these choreographies, make these dancers, make this company look as best as it can.
Wow.
And you are.
Yes.
You are.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We want to thank everybody for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
I know it was last minute, but you know how this works. Everything's last minute with this group.
Los folclóricos somos el último minuto.
Sí. ¿Dónde está la fiesta? Acá. Ok, pues vámonos. Vámonos a la otra fiesta. Bueno.
Dodgers.
En Go Dodgers.
Yay!
Se va el pollo. Just mention it.
No, es que no vaya a Garibaldi.
Yeah, so, I know. Nomás que no vaya a Garibaldi a tocar porque se van a perder. Bueno, have a good night, everybody.
See you the
Thank you
next
so much.
time.
We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.